Introduction to data structure. So, what is data and what is a structure? So, data is a raw facts and figures. When we will process it, then we will get information. Or we can say that data is a meaningless data. When we will process meaningless data, then we will get meaningful data. So this is the data. Now what is a structure? So arranging of data in different forms is called a structure. How we can arrange the data, process the data and manage the data. It comes under the data structure. So in this chapter we will read about the basics of data structure. Okay, so let's start. First definition, what is a data? Data is a collection of raw facts and figures. For example, if we have a student with roll number 1, name Aman, class 10th or 12th, section year. Okay, if we will write all the data in a single blackboard, then we can easily understand what is the meaning of that data. So we can say that there are one student with roll number 1, name is Aman, and class 12th section is here. If we will write all the data on different boards or in different classrooms, for example, in classroom 1, we will write roll number, in classroom 2, we will write name, in classroom 3, we will write class, and in classroom 4, we will write section. So we cannot understand the data properly. First we have to collect all the data, then we can understand. This is called processing of data and we will get meaningful data. Okay. Now what is a data structure? Data structure is a representation of the logical relationship existing between individual elements of data. Means we have two types of data. First roll number, then name. So what is the relation between roll number and name? This is called data structure. Data structure is used to create the relationship between two data. Okay. Now data structure is a specialized format for organizing and storing data in memory that considers not only the elements stored but also their relationship to each other. Okay. So we can say that data structure is used to store the data in memory and it also creates the relationship between the elements that we are going to store. Now introduction. Data structure affects the design of both structural and functional aspect of a program. For example, program equal to algorithm plus data structure. What is an algorithm? You know that a algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to solve a particular function or to solve a particular problem. Okay. Plus data structure. Data structure is a method how we are going to write the algorithm. By, for example, using stack, queue or list. So we will cover each topic deeply in the later section. Okay. Now classification of data structure. So data structure are normally divided into two broad categories. First one is primitive data structure, second non-primitive data structure. So classification of data structure based on figures. This is most important figure, so you have to note it down and always remember this figure for data structure. So there are two types of data structure. First one is primitive data structure and second one is non-primitive data structure. Okay. So primitive data structure contains integer, character, float and pointers. So four types of data it stores. And in non-primitive data structure it contains two types of data. First array, second list. In array, so there are three types of array. First one dimensional or single dimensional, second two dimensional, third multi-dimensional. In a list, so there are two types of list. First linear, second non-linear. In linear there are three types of data types comes. First stack, queue and linked list. In non-linear, tree and graphs. So we will read all the data structure, all the data types one by one properly. Okay. So primitive data structure. What is primitive data structure? There are basic structure and directly operated upon by the machine instruction. Data structure that are directly operated upon the machine level instruction are known as primitive data structure. So we can say that we can directly perform the operation on the primitive data structure. For example, integer, floating point number, character, constants, string constants and pointers etc. fall in this category. As you know that integer is the number, floating is a decimal numbers, character constant means letters, string constants these are the sentence or a single word comes in double quotes, single quotes or triple quotes. Pointers are used to refer the address of a particular data. Okay. The most commonly used operations on data structure are broadly categorized into following types. First, create the data. Second, selection. Third, updating. Fourth, destroy or deleting. We will read each type in the later section. Okay, this is the just introduction only. Non-primitive data structures. So there are more sophisticated data structures. The data structure that are derived from the primitive data structures are called non-primitive data structure. Means data structure derived from the primitive data structure called non-primitive data structure. So the non-primitive data structure emphasize on structuring of a group of homogeneous or heterogeneous data items. So please note down these two words. First one homogeneous and second one heterogeneous. These are the computer words. Okay, homogeneous means same types of data and heterogeneous means different types of data. These words mostly used in the computer, not in other subjects. Now, non-primitive data structure. So there are two types of non-primitive data. First one linear, second is non-linear. In linear, data structure are kind of data structure that has homogeneous elements, means same types of data. The data structure in which elements are in a sequence and form a linear series. Third, linear data structure are very easy to implement since the memory of the computer is also organized in a linear fashion. Some commonly used linear data structure are stack, queue and linked list. So linear data structure in our syllabus, but non-linear data structure is not in our syllabus, but we will read only introduction for that. Okay. Non-linear data structure. First point, a non-linear data structure is a data structure in which data item is connected to several other data items. Second point, non-linear data structure may exhibit either a hierarchical relationship or parent-child relationship. Third point, the data elements are not arranged in a sequential structure. The different non-linear data structures are trees and graphs. Non-primitive data structure. The most commonly used operations on the data structure are broadly categorized into the following types. First one, traversal. Second, insertion. Third, selection. Fourth, searching. Fifth, sorting. Then merging and destroy or delete. Okay, so these are the operations that we can perform on the non-primitive data structure. Now, what is the difference between them? Means difference between primitive and non-primitive data structure. A primitive data structure is generally a basic structure that is usually built into the language such as an integer or float. A non-primitive data structure is built out of primitive data structures linked together in a meaningful way such as a linked list, binary search tree, ABL tree or graph etc. So linked list, search, binary search, ABL tree and graph, these are different techniques to store and manage our data. Now description of various data structure. First one is array. So what is an array and how it works? Okay. So an array is defined as a set of finite number of homogeneous elements or same data type. So we can say that we can store the n number of elements of same data type in an array. It means an array can contain one type of data only, either all integers, all float point numbers or all characters. Okay. Now there are three types of array: one dimensional, two dimensional and three multi-dimensional. So here we will start from one dimensional array. An array with only one row or column is called one dimensional array. It is finite collection of n numbers of elements of some type of that. Means we can store same types of data in an array. It may be integer or float or string or character types. It can be prepared by indexing. The syntax elements are stored in continuous locations. Third point, element X to define one dimensional array is. So the basic syntax is data type, array, name and size. Okay, where data type of value it can store. For example, integer, character, float, and array name is to write down the name of the array to identify the array. Size, the maximum number of elements that the array can hold. Size means the number of elements that the array can store or hold. Now array. Simply the declaration of array is as follows. For example, int array 10. So int is specifies the data type, that is integer, and ARR, that is array. It is the name of the array. The number of specified inside the square brackets is the number of elements, that is 10. So we can store the 10 elements in the array, or we can say that the length of the array is 10. Now represent a linear array in memory. So how we can represent the linear array in a memory? The element of linear array are stored in consecutive memory locations. It is shown below. In the figure you can see that there are three rows. First one is index. Index start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and value and the base address, that is memory address, is used to store the data. In linear list 10 is the value stored in the address 1000 because the size of integer is 2. In the 100, data item is stored in the address 1002, 20 is stored in 1004, 500 is stored in 1006 and 600 is stored in the 1008. So address in bytes. So we can say that it is used, but it is stored in consecutive memory location. As you can see that 1000, 1002, 4, 6, 8, like that. Array. The element of array will always be stored in the continuous memory locations. The number of elements that can be stored in an array, that is the size of array or its length, is given by the following equation: upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. Upper bound is 5, lower bound is 1, so 5 minus 1, that is 4, plus 1 equal to 5. So we can say that the length of the array is 5. For the above array, it would be 9 minus 0 plus 1 equal to 10, where 0 is the lower bound of array and 9 is the upper bound of array. An array always be read or written through loop. So we can read the array using the loop. So for I in range from 0 to 10, as you know that this loop will start from the 0 and execute till 9 because range function works highest limit minus 1. So it will start from 0 to 9. In the second line, array I. So AR is the array name, I is the size of the array, int is the data type. Input function is used to enter the data on a particular location. Okay. So like that we will store all the data. And print array will print all the items that we will store in the array. Now array types. So first one is single dimension array. It is array with one subscript, or we can say that we can store the data in a single row or in a single column. A two-dimensional array, we can use array with two subscripts or rows and columns. So we can create a table with 2 rows or 2 columns. Multi-dimensional array with multiple script. Here we can create the n number of columns and n number of rows. Okay. So basic operations of array that we can perform. Some operations commonly performed on array are traversing, searching, insertion, deletion, sorting and merging. Now, traversing of array. Traversing means it is used to access each data item exactly once so that it can be processed. For example, we have linear array as below. In the location 1, data item is 10. In the location 2, data item is 20. In location 3, data item is 30. In location 4, or index 4 is 40, and index 5 data item is 50. So here we will start from beginning and will go till last element, and during this process we will access value of each element exactly once as below. In A1 10, A2 20, A3 30, A4 40, A5 50. A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5, these are the indexing or index of array. In algorithm you can see that here this is the algorithm for traversing the content or data items from an array. Traversal A, LB and UB. A is an array with lower bound LB and upper bound UB. So step 1 for LOC equal to lower bound to upper bound do. In the step 2, LOC is the variable, it will execute from lower bound to upper bound. Okay. In the step 2, process A, LOC. So whatever data will store in LOC variable, it will store in an array A. And end of for loop, then it will exit the program. So like that we can traverse our data. Now insertion into array. How we can insert the data or new data items in an array? It is used to add a new data item in the given collection of data items. Okay. So we have linear array A as below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 50, 30 and 15. So new element is to be inserted is 100. And location for insertion is 3. So shift the element from 5th location to 3rd location or downwards by 1 place and then insert 100 at 3rd location. It is shown below. In the figure you can see that so there are 5 items must be created 6 columns in a row 10, 20, 50, 30, 15. Now index 5 move to the index 6 that is 15. Now index 4 move into the data item 5, index 5. Okay, here index 3 move into the index 4. Now index 3 is 3. So we can easily insert the data in index 3 that is 100. So algorithm for inserting the data is insert A, n, item, position. A is an array with n elements. And item is the element to be inserted in the position. Okay. So step 1 for I equal to n minus 1 down to position. So we have to shift the data from down to position. AI plus 1 equal to AI. Means we have to process the data. We can change the position of the data from A3 to A4. End of for loop. Then step 2, a position equal to item. And we have to store the new item in the position that is empty now. In the step 3, n equal to n plus 1, just increase the index value, that is n equal to n plus 1, and step 4 exit or terminate the program. Now deletion from array. So deletion, it is used to delete an existing data item from the given collection of data items. For example, let A4 be an array with items 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 stored at consecutive locations. Suppose item 30 has to be deleted at position 2. The following procedure is applied. First step, copy 30 to item, that is item equal to 30. Now move number 40 to the position 2 and move number 50 to the position 3. Now position 4 is free. So like that we can delete the data and arrange the data in ascending order or in indexing order. Algorithm delete an item position. A is an array with an element. Item is the element to be deleted in the position and it is stored into the variable item. Step 1, item equal to a position. First collect the item that we are going to delete. In the step 2, use the for loop to arrange the index ai equal to ai plus 1. End of for loop. Step 3, n equal to n minus 1. Just remove, just subtract the or decrease the indexing value by 1. And step 4, exit. Thank you, students. In the next section we will do some more operations. Have a nice day.